Britney Spears is absolutely furious with ex and baby daddy K-Fed. He's exposed all her dark secrets in his new memoir. Alright, buckle up because Britney Spears is fuming, and this time it's over something totally predictable: her ex, Kevin Federline, writing a memoir. Yeah, the man who made an entire generation ask, wait, he's still around? Decided now's the perfect time to spill what he calls the truth about their marriage. Britney was blindsided completely. She had zero warning that Kevin was digging through the skeletons of their past for everyone to see. And the reaction? Well, furious doesn't even cover it. We're talking ready to lawyer up, fire in her eyes fury. People close to her say she's terrified this book could actually throw her back into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons: personal pain, family drama, private struggles, all ready for public consumption. And let's talk timing, because it's wild. Her last child support check to Kevin went out in November 2024. Months later, suddenly he's, a memoir author. I mean, that's suspicious. Doesn't even begin to cover that. So insiders are side-eyeing the move, saying he's been silent for years but suddenly wants to, tell his side once the checks stop coming. Classic. Well, Britney's been on a healing streak, reconnecting with her sons, reclaiming her life, speaking her truth. She finally gets to write her own story, and here comes Kevin, waving a little pen around like it's a magic wand to erase her narrative. Naturally, she's considering legal action, trying to block certain parts or at least keep him from exposing the really private stuff. Kevin's framing the memoir as an honest and raw kind of memoir about fatherhood, heartbreak, and his life, but fans, well, they're already roasting him online, especially when he calls himself a household name. Like, sweetie, the household name came because you married Britney Spears, not because you invented your own brand of genius. Yikes. Let's not forget, Britney's already done the memoir thing in 2023 with The Woman in Me. She spilled it all: conservatorship horrors, postpartum struggles, married Kevin, the whole messy saga. She owned her story. Now Kevin wants to rewrite it. Bold. It's honestly really bold. This is more than a book. It's a battle for control. Who tells the story, who shapes the narrative, and who gets to be remembered for this messy chapter of pop history? Well, will Britney shut him down before the world reads his version of the truth? Or will Kevin score a few social media claps while everyone drags him mercilessly? Either way, grab the popcorn because this drama is about to get really messy, and let's be honest, the internet is here for it.
Number 10. Justin Timberlake. One of the most discussed sections of the memoir is, of course, the revelation of what really happened when Britney and her Mickey Mouse Club co-star Justin Timberlake got together. After meeting JT in the clubhouse, the two sparked a romantic connection. Their connection was strong, but unfortunately Britney had to make a difficult decision in the year 2000 after she found out she was pregnant. At first, Britney was actually pretty excited about the whole thing. In her book, she revealed that she had planned on starting a family with Justin at some point, but this was just going to be a little bit earlier than she expected. It turns out Justin was not so excited and told her that they were both too young to be starting a family, continuing to remind her that their careers would also need to be put on pause. This revelation may be part of the reason that Justin was reportedly so nervous leading up to the book's release. Britney revealed that if the decision had solely been left to her, she would have gone through with the pregnancy, but she decided to go the opposite route instead. She claims to have only done it because Justin just so clearly did not want to be the father. In the book, she said that, look back, it's one of the most agonizing things she had ever experienced in her life. Number 9. Mama Spears. One thing that comes up a lot in Britney Spears' memoir is her relationship to her parents. She discusses the strain that has been placed especially on the bond between herself and her mother, Lynn Spears. She dives deep into her childhood and what really went down, and in the book she said that she started drinking no-no juice with her mother when she was just in the 8th grade. Of course, that is awful and nobody should ever do that, because Britney wouldn't just have a sip of grape juice now and again. No, she would drink no-no juice like it was her job. She explained that for fun, she started having fruity no-no juice with her mom while they were in Biloxi, Mississippi. To make things feel less, illegal, they would call the drinks toddies, named after the adult beverage that's basically just no-no tea. Britney felt a special bond with her mother because of this, especially considering the contrast between her mom and her father, Jamie. You see, when her mom had a few, she was bubbly and happy, and same with Britney, but when Jamie had a few, he would get angry and depressed. The behavior is terrible, and while bonding with your parents is pretty awesome, that is not the right way to do it. Number 8. The Snake. Britney Spears has performed at the Video Music Awards a few times over her career, but none quite as memorable as her infamous dance with the snake at the 2001 VMA ceremony. Britney walked on stage and began a performance of I'm a Slave for You with a massive snake draped across her shoulders. At first it seemed cool, but throughout the performance she does doesn't look at it once, keeping her head down or aimed directly at the audience. In the memoir, she revealed that she is not only terrified of snakes, but that this one actually started hissing in her ears while she was on stage. Partway through the performance, the snake wraps around her and puts its face right near her ear, where she claims it hissed so loudly that for a moment she thought it was going to bite her face off. But she continued with the performance, and thankfully she still has her face, so that's very good. Number 7, The Notebook. While Britney may be known for her musical talents, she did have a short career in the film industry in the early 2000s. Her first role was in the film Crossroads, which, despite having a stellar cast, was apparently a very difficult experience for Britney. Although she was thrown off by that film, she was actually offered the co-starring lead role in The Notebook. The process went so deep that before production was set to begin, it was down to her and Rachel McAdams for the part. Now, we all know what happened when Rachel McAdams got the role. She had a terrible time on set and spent 2 years with Ryan Gosling off screen. Yay! Britney said it would have been fun to reconnect with her Mickey Mouse Club co-star Ryan Gosling for a full-length feature, but in the end she's pretty glad that they didn't pick her. She instead decided to work on her album In the Zone, putting her creative efforts to good use despite this Hollywood rejection. Now, while the film has gone down in history as a rom-com classic, nobody can even fathom what a Britney and Ryan-led movie might have looked like. But it probably would have looked something like this. Number 6, Mickey Mouse Club. Now, I actually didn't know this because, to be honest, I'm not a big Britney Spears fan. Oh, I know, it's a shocker, I just scream pop music. But the first time I saw this woman on screen was genuinely in Austin Powers Goldmember, and her head exploded. So, overall, pretty solid first impression. However, her actual first role in the acting world took place in 1993, after she landed a gig on the Mickey Mouse Club, a show that would turn out to be a huge part of her life. Despite the colorful set and overall just Disney-ness of the show, Britney explained that filming was never easy. She revealed that the show was like being at a boot camp for the entertainment industry. Extensive dance rehearsals, singing lessons, acting classes, time in the recording studio, school in between, it was a lot. In fact, much like school, she explained that the show's cast was divided into cliques, with the younger castmates being in one crew and the olders being in the other. She admitted that there were some fun moments, like sharing a little smooch with Justin Timberlake, but it was still a very grueling job. She said it was extremely hard to work, and more often than not, the groups would be in rehearsal practicing choreography 30 times a day. That's like 28 times too many. At the end of the day, Britney treated the club like a job that took up a ton of her childhood. Number 5, Jamie Spears. Britney's father, Jamie, has had a complex relationship with his daughter for most of her life. In her memoir, she shared the harsh judgment she constantly received from her papa. She explained that she thought getting criticized for her body in the press was bad, but it hurt even more when it was coming from her own father. He repeatedly told her that she looked heavy and that she really needed to do something about it. He wasn't that nice, but I'm paraphrasing. She explained that even as a small child, he never gave her the love or the attention that she needed. In the book, she said that feeling like you are never good enough is a soul-crushing state for a young child. He drummed that message into her growing up, and even after she accomplished so much, he was continuing to make her feel like dirt. Jamie's wild opinions about Britney got so much worse when she was under her conservatorship. Under the conservatorship, Jamie was named as one of the several people in her life that could make important decisions for her, mind, body, and soul, and she was forced to grow her recently shaved hair back and get back into shape. For 13 years, Jamie remained in control of her life right up until the suspension in 2021. Speaking of which, number 4, conservatorship. As many may know, Britney was placed under a psychiatric hold in 2008 following what we will call a difficult evening, and was later placed under a conservatorship by her father, Jamie. In her book, she explained what she had been going through at the time. She said that shaving her head and acting out were her ways of pushing back. Under the conservatorship, she was made to understand that those days were now over. She had to grow her hair back, get back into shape, and she went to bed early and had to take whatever medications that they told her to. Britney revealed that she felt like an infant under the conservatorship and lost her passion for music. She explained that she started to feel more and more like a thing on stage rather than a person. In her book, she said she had always felt music in her bones, but her family kind of stole that from her. She reminded readers of the contrast between male and female artists, telling them to think of all the male artists who've gambled their money away, who had substance control issues or mental health issues, and many of them have never had control of their bodies or money taken away. Before the book was released, people were just under the impression that the conservatorship was some kind of a financial thing, but as her book has revealed, it's a lot darker than that. Number 3, The Secret Man. Among the many things being revealed in Britney's memoir, one shocking revelation was that she actually met and fell in love with a man while under her conservatorship that almost led her to fleeing the US with said man. She explained that she was talking to a guy that she really liked, and he wanted her to leave the country with him. Not creepy at all. They had a secret relationship for quite some time and were eventually set to make the journey across the sea. But when she opened up about the romance to her assistant, she was hesitant, saying that she was worried what her father may do. Her assistant guaranteed nothing would happen, but was proven wrong when she was forced into a mental health facility around the same time that she was supposed to leave the country. There's never been a confirmation if the two situations are related, but it kind of feels like it is. Yeah, it feels like they were. Number 2, finding her voice. Britney has been through a ton in her life, but it turns out that we didn't even know the half of it. During her court testimonies, while she was attempting to reclaim her freedom, she said that she was forced to go to a mental health facility against her will in early 2019. It was almost 2 years ago that she regained control of her millions and every other aspect of her life. In 2022, her father requested to unseal all of the records from the duration of her conservatorship. Britney's attorney, Matthew Rosengart, called this move offensive and highly inappropriate. He explained that they did not believe a father who loves his daughter would file to unseal her medical records. Makes sense. Britney's new book is a new revelation to her side of things. A little over a year ago, her younger sister Jamie Lynn released a book called Things I Should Have Said, and in it she included a ton of details regarding Britney that seemed to paint her in a bad light. But most of Britney's fans felt that the stories were just a way to profit off her older sister during a time when she was still making headlines. And at number 1, lost all control. As previously mentioned, when Britney was placed under her conservatorship, every single aspect of her life was controlled by someone else, and mostly her dad. She was unable to make financial, physical, or personal decisions without running them through Lil Papa Jamie first, a man who is just notorious for being a terrible person both inside and out. While the conservatorship was dropped in 2021, the pain of her time is still lingering. She said that the conservatorship stripped her of her womanhood and made her feel like a child. In her memoir, Britney revealed that if she had been allowed to make her own decisions instead of her father, that she would be in a much better place. She wrote that 13 years of her life went by with her feeling like a shadow of herself. She constantly thinks back to the times her father would control her body or her money, and it makes her sick to her stomach. Most of her life was controlled by someone else for a very long time, but now that she's free, who knows what will happen next. Number 10, mama drama. One thing that comes up a lot in Britney Spears' memoir is her relationship to her parents. She discusses the strain that was placed especially on the bond between herself and her mom, Lynn Spears. She dived deep into her childhood and what actually went down. In the book, she said that she started drinking no-no juice with her mother when she was just in the 8th grade. Of course, that's awful and no one should ever do that, because Britney wouldn't just have a sip of it. No, she would just drink no-no juice all day like it was her job. She explained that for fun, she started having fruity no-no juice with her mom while they were in Biloxi, Mississippi. Say that 10 times fast and I will give you $100. To make things feel less illegal, they would call the drinks toddies, named after the adult beverage that's basically just no-no tea. Britney felt a special bond with her mother because of this, especially considering the contrast between her mom and her dad when he would drink. When her mother had a few, she was bubbly and had, the same bright personality, and that's what Britney had as well. But when Jamie had a few, he would get angry and depressed. That behavior is terrible, and while bonding with your parents is awesome, not the right way to do it. Number 9, Jamie Lynn Spears. In her memoir, Britney says that she's working very hard to have more compassion towards her sister, Zoe 101 herself, Jamie Lynn Spears. In the book, Britney revealed a ton of information on Jamie, including the fact that for the entirety of her conservatorship, Jamie would just tell her to move on and stop fighting for control. Britney writes that her younger sister ruled the roost at their home in Kentwood growing up, leaving Britney feeling like a ghost to her parents. She writes that she would walk into the family room and that no one would look at her. Her sister was always too glued to the TV, and according to Britney, would constantly berate their mother, calling her every name in the book. According to Britney, Jamie did nothing to help her during her time under the conservatorship. When she was placed into a mental health facility in 2018, she asked Jamie for support. She replied by telling Britney to just give in and stop resisting. At the time, Britney was under immense mental stress and wrote that she was scared that someone was maybe trying to hurt her in the facility. Her relationship with with her sister Jamie has been strained for a long time, with Jamie lying to her several times, including one incident where Jamie claimed that a Zoe 101 co-star was being mean to her on set. Britney confronted the star, Alexa Nichols, by yelling in her face, and she had no idea what was happening or why, because it turned out that she was being lied to from the very beginning. Good sibling right there. Number 8. Justin Timberlake. Now, one of the most discussed sections of the memoir is of course the revelation of what actually happened when Britney and her Mickey Mouse Club co-star Justin got together. After meeting JT in the clubhouse, the two sparked a romantic connection. The connection was so strong, but unfortunately Britney had to make a very tough decision in 2000 after she found out she was pregnant. At first, Britney was actually pretty excited about this. In her book, she actually revealed that she had planned on starting a family with Justin at some point, but I guess that it was just gonna happen a little bit earlier than it expected. Well, it turned out that Justin didn't want anything to do with this. He was not excited at all, and he just told her that they were both too young to be starting a family, reminding her that their careers would also have to be put on pause. Ultimately, she decided not to have the baby, something that she claims to be the most devastating decision of her life. Now, part of the memoir revealed this about Britney and Justin, but another part revealed what exactly this man did to break up with Britney. The breakup happened while Britney was on set for the overprotected Dark Child remix music video in LA. But towards the end of the second day of filming, the director Chris Applebaum told Page Six that Spears suddenly went missing for almost an hour. The director found Britney in her trailer on the floor with her legs crossed, bawling her eyes out while her makeup just slowly fell down her face. She said nothing but showed him the text that she got from Justin that just said, "It's over." Following the breakup, Justin wrote and released the song Cry Me a River based on his experience with Britney, claiming that she had cheated on him while they were together, something that she actually confirmed in her book that did happen with a choreographer named Wade Robson. Number 7. Jamie Spears. Britney's father Jamie has had a complex relationship with his daughter for the most of her life, and that is putting it lightly. In her memoir, she shared the harsh judgment she constantly got from her father, explaining that she thought getting criticized for her body in the press was bad. It hurt even more when it was coming from her own father. He repeatedly told her that she looked heavy and that she really needed to do something about it. She explained that even as a small child, he never gave her the love or attention that she needed. She said that feeling like you are never good enough is a soul-crushing state for a young child. He drummed that message into her growing up, and even after she accomplished so much, he continued to make her feel like dirt. Jamie's wild opinions about Britney got so much worse when she was under her conservatorship. Under the conservatorship, Jamie was named as one of the several people in her life that could make important decisions for her mind, body, and soul. She was forced to grow her recently shaved hair back out and go back into shape. For 13 years, that man remained in control of her life right up until the suspension in 2021. Number 6. Yeet the parents. Following the end of her conservatorship, Britney was able to make decisions for herself again, taking full control over her mind, her body, and her soul. And one of the first decisions that she made was to drop her family from her life entirely. The moment of realization came when she went to visit her parents in 2021. According to Britney, they had stopped answering their phones, so she decided to drive out and see what was up. During the visit, she learned that her beloved Madame Alexander doll collection that she got when she was growing up was thrown away by her family. She also came to find that multiple years of writing had been trashed, including binders full of poems that could have occupied their own book. She decided if they were ready to throw her away, then she was going to do the same thing to them. Number 5. Christina Aguilera. Despite Christina Aguilera's publicly advocating for Britney and her ex Justin to get back together, behind closed doors she felt the exact opposite. Britney and Christina grew close after meeting on set of the Mickey Mouse Club. As time went on, they became close, and Christina was well aware of the pain caused by Justin during and after the relationship. Despite seeing the pain firsthand, she decided to team up with Justin for the Justified and Stripped tour in 2003, only 1 year after the split. They were together on the cover of Rolling Stones in a manner that made the room steamy when you read it. Britney revealed that she was mad at Christina for a very long time, admitting that she was jealous that Christina was free to party and see people while she was forced to sit back and watch. In the early 2000s, the two had a semi-public rivalry. Christina would regularly bash Britney and make claims like she was a lost little puppy backstage at the 2003 Video Music Awards. Number 4. Conservatorship. As many people know, Britney was placed under a psychiatric hold in 2008 following what we will call a difficult evening, and was later placed under a conservatorship by her father. In her book, she explained what she had been going through at the time, saying that shaving her head and acting out were ways of pushing back. Under the conservatorship, she was made to understand that those days were now over. She had to grow her hair back, get back into shape, she went to bed early, and took whatever whatever medication she was told to. Britney revealed that she felt like an infant under the conservatorship and lost her passion for music. She explained that she started to feel more like a thing on stage rather than a person. In her book, she said that she had always felt music was in her bones, but her family stole it from her. She reminded readers of the contrast between male and female artists, telling them to think of all the male artists who gambled their money away, who had substance control issues or mental health issues, anything like that, but many of them have never had control of their bodies or money taken away. Before the book was released, people were just under the impression that the conservatorship was more of a financial and mental kind of thing, but as the book revealed, it is a lot darker than that, and we'll probably learn a lot more once it's actually released out into the public. Number 3, why she shaved her head. In 2007, many people believed that Britney had just kind of snapped. Her rage was nothing more than celebrity-induced psychosis, right? No. But in her memoir, Britney revealed what exactly prompted the public meltdown. She was in the midst of a painful divorce with Kevin Federline, and she was constantly bombarded by paparazzi. She wrote that she had been eyeballed up and down for her entire life, with people telling her what they thought of her physical features constantly. Shaving her head was an act of defiance. It was a way of pushing back. The shaving took place only a day after she was released from a rehab facility in Antigua, which, just didn't help the case that she was trying to make. A year later, the conservatorship was put into place. As part of the new rule, she was forced to grow her hair back out and was made to take the medications to help speed up the process. Number 2. Robot. When speaking about her conservatorship, Britney described how the 13-year ordeal made her feel like she was her father's little robot at his beck and call. She outed her father as being a terrible human being, but we've already talked about that. He stole a lot of money and stuff from her and threw out her dolls. He's great. Britney said that feeling like she wasn't enough was a message that her father made sure to drum into her skull growing up, writing that she became a sort of robot, becoming so infantilized that she was losing pieces of what made her herself. Although her body and finances were being controlled by her father, she was deemed well enough to work in what the former estate conservator called a hybrid business model. She writes that the estate controlled who her friends were, where she could go, and logged her every purchase down to drinks from Buc-ee's. She also said in court that she had been forced to take baby control pills and medication against her will. And at number 1, being a mom. Britney was placed into a conservatorship after having kids with her ex-hubby Kevin Federline. In her memoir, she revealed that one of the main reasons she went along with the terms of her conservatorship was so that she could see her kids, Sean and Jaden. According to Britney, she did everything in her power to get out of this conservatorship or work around the rules somehow, but unfortunately she was unsuccessful. Kevin was given sole custody of the younglings in 2008 after Britney was hospitalized when she locked herself in a bathroom with her sons and refused to give them back to their father. They made a deal, according to her, freedom for naps. She was given permission to visit and cuddle the kiddos every once in a while. At the same time she revealed this information, Britney also shared that they brought her comfort in a time when she was forced to be very uncomfortable. After her father forced her into 2 psychological assessments where they physically pinned her to a gurney, she realized that she could do nothing to stop them from doing anything to her physical body, so she had to start figuring out what to do mentally. Her kids brought her a sense of calmness that she was able to hold on to and use to get through a really tough time. Number 10. Madonna. Madonna's name is mentioned several times throughout Britney's memoir, 17 to be exact. As a young girl, Britney idolized Madonna and did everything to be like her. Once she gained some fame and was asked to attend award shows, Britney was bumping into Madonna all around the world. At one point in time, she was staying with music icon Cher when Madonna came by for a little visit. Britney claims that she found a mentor in Madonna. Her confidence helped her see a lot about her situation with a fresh set of eyes. While rehearsing for the Video Music Awards one year, Britney had the idea to get Madonna involved on her single, Me Against the Music. She approached her directly and the rest is history. Reflecting on her past following her time spent with Madonna, Britney claims that if she could go back, she would attempt to be her own everything. Her boss, her own parent, her own friend, her own partner, because hey, that's what Madonna does. Spears was in awe of how much Madonna refused to compromise her artistic vision and integrity, something that she carried with her for years, and thanks Madonna for allowing her to witness. Number 9. Colin Farrell. Shortly after her breakup with Justin Timberlake, Spears revealed that she laid eyes on a handsome man named Colin Farrell. Farrell, who you may know from the first Fantastic Beasts film or one of his several dramatic roles, but who I know as Bullseye from Daredevil. She met Colin on the set of SWAT, and there was no security on the set, so Britney was just kinda able to drive up and pop by for a visit. One day while visiting the soundstage, the director of SWAT spotted her and asked if she would like to watch them film a scene, and Colin approached. According to Britney, Britney herself and Colin were involved in a 2-week brawl. What that translates to is they could not take their hands off each other. He even took her to the premiere of The Recruit, where she accidentally wore a pajama top instead of normal clothes. Quite the brawl indeed. She claimed that the fling was short and ended quick after she realized that she was just using Colin as a rebound, still not being over Justin Timberlake. Speaking of which, number 8. Justin Timberlake. One of the most discussed sections of her memoir is of course the revelation of what really happened when Britney Spears and her Mickey Mouse Club co-star Justin Timberlake got together. After meeting JT in the clubhouse, the two sparked a romantic connection. Their connection was so strong, but unfortunately Britney had to make a difficult decision in the year 2000 after she found out that she was pregnant. At first, Britney was actually pretty excited about the whole thing. In her book, she revealed that she had planned on starting a family with Justin at some point, but that this was just going to be a little bit earlier than she expected. It turns out that Justin was not so excited and told her that they were both too young to be starting a family, continuing to remind her that their careers would also need to be put on pause. This revelation may be part of the reason that Justin was reportedly so nervous leading up to the book's release. Britney revealed that if the decision had solely been left to her, she would have gone through with the pregnancy, but she decided to go the opposite route instead. She claims to have only done it because Justin so clearly did not want to be the father. In the book, she said that looking back, it's one of the most agonizing things she has ever experienced in her life. Number 7. Christina Aguilera. Christina and Britney met the same way that most young Hollywood people meet, while auditioning for the all-new Mickey Mouse Club. During the first round of auditions, neither of them made the cut, but they were reintroduced after they were recasted later on, even sharing a dressing room during their time on the show in the 90s. The up-and-coming starlets were pitted against each other in the media and were often made to look like rivals. In the memoir, not much light is shed on this aspect of the relationship, but she did mention that she was very confused when Christina was vocally in support of Britney and Justin getting back together in 2003, writing that she was surprised considering how negative she had been about the situation behind closed doors. She is also completely out of the conversation when she mentions her onstage kiss with Madonna in 2001, which we'll get into in a little bit. Later in the book, Britney actually compliments Christina on her ability to handle her nerves when it comes to live TV appearances. However, Britney also revealed that herself and Christina would often employ the same dancers and would all go out and hang out together, you know, have a couple of bevies and celebrate. But under Britney's conservatorship, she was made to remain sober. She explained that Christina was a bit messed up, indulging a bit too much for Britney's liking. Britney admitted that it would have been nice to let loose with her friends at the time, but now that she's out of the conservatorship, her and Christina are free to party. Number 6. Rachel McAdams. For anyone who may have forgotten, Britney is not just famous in the world of music, but she actually attempted to get a little acting career off the ground for a brief period in the early 2000s. Following her turn in the film Crossroads, she auditioned for a big role in the rom-com The Notebook. That's right, The Notebook was almost a movie featuring Ryan Gosling and Britney Spears, literally. She got so far into the casting process that it was down to either her or Rachel for the role. In the end, as we all know, they went with Rachel McAdams, but that is a choice that Britney fully supported. Apparently, she started to get cold feet the further into the process that they went. Instead of being in The Notebook, she went on to work on her album In the Zone, putting her creative efforts to good use despite this Hollywood rejection. While we may never know what that movie would have turned out like, I made a little something to help you visualize it. Look! It's Britney Spears in a boat with Ryan Gosling. Thanks, Photoshop. Number 5. Elton John. The Rocket Man himself actually played a pivotal role in Britney being able to find her musical voice after her struggles with her conservatorship. In her memoir, Spears shared that she hadn't been thinking about recording music until Elton John reached out to her to collaborate on Hold Me Closer, a modern duet version of his hit song Tiny Dancer, a song that Britney claims to have blasted on repeat growing up. Spears and John had met almost a decade earlier and got along very well, but she was beyond excited to actually work with this guy who she idolized growing up. The result of their collaboration was Britney's first #1 song and longest charting single in over 10 years. Number 4. Justin Timberlake. Again, hey! It's JT! Again! Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're not done with this guy. Part of the memoir revealed that the baby thing happened, but another part revealed exactly what this man did to break up with Britney. He sent her a 2-word text. That was it. Following the breakup, Justin wrote and released the song Cry Me a River based on his experience with Britney, claiming that she had cheated on him while they were together, which kinda prompted the 2-word text breakup. The breakup happened while Britney was on set for the overprotected Dark Child remix music video in LA. But towards Towards the end of the second day of filming, the director Chris Applebaum told Page Six that Spears suddenly went missing for almost an hour. The director found Britney in her trailer on the floor with her legs crossed, bawling her eyes out while her makeup smudged. She said nothing but showed him the text that she had received from Justin that simply said the words, "It's over." 2 words was all that he felt necessary to end things with a woman who almost had his kid, and I'm not really sure how to feel about that. Number 3. Natalie Portman. Who would have guessed that Natalie Portman of all people would be mentioned in a memoir by Britney Spears? But as luck would have it, this is a small world, and the Thor Love and Thunder star actually crossed paths with Britney when they were both understudies in the off-Broadway production of Ruthless. They both played a sociopathic star named Tina Denmark, a role that Britney claims felt close to home for her. That's not a good thing to say about that role. Following her split from Justin Timberlake, she co-hosted a New Year's Eve party in New York with Natalie as a callback to their theater days. Now, I've never pictured Britney Spears on stage doing anything other than singing, but the idea of her also acting in a live show is kinda neat. Hey, Broadway people, call Britney and Natalie up, get them casted together in a production of Wicked or something. I'd watch that. Britney can be Elphaba, and Natalie can be whoever she wants because she's Natalie frickin' Portman. Number 2, Mariah Carey. Despite being a mega pop star herself, Britney had a mega fangirl moment when she met Mariah Carey. In the early years of her career, Britney had been a longtime fan of Mariah's work. As a kid, she would practice performing by making homemade music videos of herself dancing and singing to Carey's music. She introduced herself to Mariah by knocking on her dressing room door backstage at an award show that the two had been attending. She details that Mariah was a sweetheart and immediately said yes to taking a picture together, but in true Mariah fashion, she would not accept anything but good lighting and the right angles. She did everything she was told by Mariah in order to get the right angle, and Britney claimed that Mariah knows her stuff, and the pic looked incredible. She knew she had won an award that night, but she could not compare her trophy to her picture with her childhood hero. And at number 1, Max Martin. While working on her first album, Britney was encouraged by record label executives to meet a producer from Sweden. She and Max Martin met to have a little chit-chat. Max went on to become one of pop music's most successful songwriters and producers. Their dinner was private, there were no assistants or label representatives, it was just them and some steak. Within seconds of sitting down, a candle fell over and set their table on fire. They ran out of the room, and the rest is history. Despite their first meeting literally going up in flames, he was impressed with her talents and she with his skills as a producer. They started working together immediately after, with Britney flying back and forth to Sweden to record.
And at number 10, Britney bribed her parents' divorce. One of the most shocking revelations from Jamie Lynn's book and interviews was the fact that her parents never had the perfect marriage, and their father Jamie struggled with alcohol issues while they were young. This caused his behavior to be unpredictable when they were growing up, and it put a huge strain on their children. Because of the toxic relationship, Britney told her mother she would buy her a house if she divorced Jamie, her father. Her mother did this, got the house and the divorce, and then her father basically lived at the house anyway. Jamie Lynn says their dad was there the first night that the women moved into the new house. Jamie Lynn didn't know how to act. She was so young, she was knowing her sister's wishes, but seeing her mother staying with this man, she was angry, upset, and didn't know which side to take. And at number 9, barefoot in a gas station bathroom. In 2004, Britney made the strange decision to go barefoot into a sketchy bathroom, and the media questioned her cleanliness ever since that incident. While at a gas station in Ventura, California, Britney needed to use the bathroom and decided to just use one at the gas station. Her fiancé Kevin Federline was waiting in the car for her when paparazzi snapped her walking into the unisex bathroom with bare feet. Yup, that's right. Britney decided to use a unisex gas station bathroom with no shoes on. I feel like it would honestly be hard to find any celebrity that would be okay with using a gas station bathroom in general. After that, the media exploded questioning her hygiene, and I'm sure she regrets how much media attention that small moment got. But at the end of the day, if she feels fine going barefoot, who are we to judge? And at number 8, Jamie Lynn's terrifying experience. In her new book, Jamie Lynn describes a terrifying event with her sister that sheds light on the struggles that Britney was facing at that time. She wrote, quote, "One time she said to me, 'Baby, I'm scared,' and took a large knife from the kitchen, pulled me along to my room, and she locked us both inside. She put the weapon in the bedside table drawer and simply repeated, 'I'm scared.' She needed me to sleep beside her." Jamie Lynn describes how scared she was during that incident and claims she experienced panic attacks after that. Britney responded to the shocking allegations on Twitter, denying that the event ever happened. Britney wrote, quote, "I've never been around you with a knife, or would I ever think to do such." Neither parent has made a statement about which sister is telling the truth. And at number 7, Jason Alexander wedding. One of Britney's most controversial moments was when she decided to get married to her childhood friend in Vegas, clearly an impulsive move. Her sister Jamie Lynn gave more details surrounding this event in her book, and Jamie Lynn said she could sense that something was wrong when Britney came home for the holidays. Jamie Lynn describes Britney coming home for the holidays and acting very strange. Britney allegedly met up with Alexander on Christmas Eve before she took the women in the family on a tropical vacation. She wrote, quote, "Immediately I noticed that Britney was being secretive and keeping her distance. She wanted to be anywhere but with us. I was particularly hurt by her shunning." After the family got back from the trip, Britney flew to Vegas with friends, and Jamie Lynn knew something bad was going to happen. Jamie Lynn even remembers telling Britney not to get married. Then Britney just rolled her eyes and told her that she wouldn't. But as we know, just hours later Britney would in fact marry him. Jamie Lynn admitted she was embarrassed by the whole fiasco, though to keep up appearances she pretended at the time it was blown out of proportion. She added, "At that point, the chaos of my sister's life was just beginning." And at number 6, driving with infant on lap. In 2006, there was another incident with Britney and her new baby that actually caused the police to show up at her home to check on them. Paparazzi snapped Britney at a Malibu Starbucks driving out of the parking lot with her baby, Sean Preston, in her lap. This is not only illegal but very scary, as infants must ride in car seats to be as safe as possible on the road. When asked later about the incident, she blamed aggressive paparazzi. The paparazzi made her pull out quickly because she felt threatened. But the police did not care about this explanation, and the LA County Sheriff's Department visited Spears' home to talk about the incident at the request of county child welfare authorities. The paparazzi also clapped back at the claims and said they were not threatening her in any way. The photo agency said, quote, "These pictures were taken in a very peaceful context in which photographers exhibited no aggressive behavior." Halfway number 5, the family's Hollywood team made all the decisions. Although we are putting most of the blame on the conservatorship on Britney's father Jamie, which should be the case, we need to discuss the role that Hollywood executives had in it too. These executives also made a lot of family decisions during Jamie Lynn's unexpected teen pregnancy. This is the reason that Britney's made a point to talk about the bad job done by her previous lawyers, along with the manipulation by Lou Taylor, who was Britney's business manager at the time of her conservatorship. It is widely believed that Taylor was the real architect of the conservatorship and gave Jamie the tools he needed to control Britney's life. Jamie Lynn herself even questioned who made a lot of the decisions during her time pregnant. Jamie Lynn also stated that the media has been twisting a lot of the quotes that the sisters have said, and the media are the ones putting the wedge between the whole family. And at number 4, almost dropped her son. This was another incident back in 2006 involving her newborn son. Only a week after the incident where she was caught driving with the baby on her lap, she tripped while walking in Manhattan and almost dropped her son, Sean Preston. She was leaving the Ritz-Carlton holding a drink in her right hand and Sean in her left as she maneuvered through the crowd of onlookers. Britney moved through the crowd and then she suddenly tripped. The baby's head then went backward as the hat flew off his head. Britney regained her balance and the baby seemed okay thanks to a quick reaction from the bodyguard. To make matters worse, it didn't look like she spilled a drop of the drink that she was holding in her other hand. It was reported that days later she had a breakdown over the incident. Since 2 of these similar incidents with her son happened so closely together, her parenting skills were further scrutinized by the public. And at number 3, attacks paparazzi with umbrella. One of Britney's worst moments in the press was in 2007 when she attacked a paparazzi with a green umbrella because she was so mad over all the attention she was getting. At this time, Britney was clearly going through a lot. She had just shaved her head in front of the public. It was all anyone was talking about. Britney was begging to be left alone and deal with her issues while not getting bombarded with paparazzi. But obviously that did not happen and she was hounded more than ever. At the time, her paparazzi attack became so famous that a Florida morning radio host even used photos from her breakdown on his Total Nut Jobs billboards. Months after the incident, she apologized in a bizarre statement, writing, quote, "I apologize to the pop for a stunt that was done 4 months ago regarding an umbrella. I was preparing my character for a role in a movie where the husband never plays his part, so they switch places accidentally. I take all my roles very seriously and got a little carried away. Unfortunately, I didn't get the part." And at number 2, screaming at Sam Lufty. Sam Lufty is one of the most controversial people in the world of Britney Spears, and her entire family blames Sam for her eventual downfall in 2007. In 2008, the pair got in a screaming match over Britney's boyfriend at the time, paparazzo Adnan Ghalib, and this was one of many of their public fights back then. Apparently, Britney and Sam got in a huge fight and Britney refused to go into his house, so she called her boyfriend, Adnan Ghalib, to come get her at Sam's house. He came right over, but when he got there, Sam would not let him get Britney. The guards were under strict orders from Sam not to let him in. He tried calling each of her 6 cell phones and the house phone, but she did not answer. Years later, Britney would get restraining orders from both Sam Lutfi and Anand Galib. And finally, number 1, her career was almost threatened. Back in the 90s when Britney was becoming a star, there was a man in the shadows of all the most famous boy bands who ended up scamming all of them. The man was named Lou Pearlman, and he created both the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. He wanted Spears to join a girl group that he had been working on, but she was more set on being a solo artist at the time. Thankfully, she didn't want to be in a girl group, or she would have been working with Pearlman when the members of the boy bands realized that they were being scammed. He was later sued for fraud and misrepresentation by most of the pop acts that he worked with, on top of being behind one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history. And the members of the boy bands only received a fraction of the money that he owed them. So that is all for the list. Let me know your thoughts below, but before I go, I'm going to shout out some comments from top 10 celebrities who hate their families. Patricia said, "If I were Britney, I would sue every one of the cold-hearted, stealing family and the people they hired for everything possible and never speak to any of the bloodsuckers again." Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what she's planning to do right now. And Carrie Brady said, "For part 2 include Drew Barrymore and Angelina Jolie. Great job, love this video." Yes, they're 2 people that definitely dislike their family a lot, especially Drew. Then Jeannie said, "Sad, Goldie took Oliver and Kate away from their dad. Parents should always support each other regarding their kids. It hurts the children to tear down a parent." I kind of don't think it was actually that way. If he wanted to see the kids, he would have been able to. I think he left and never wanted to see them. That's where the animosity comes from. That's just my opinion though.